So all of you see a blue light emanating from the sphere on the center scaffolding, which is where the metal clunk was heard. You now see that the lever is switched to the opposite angle, and the plant pod that was dropped into the conical recess has been disintegrated, and it seems like it got sucked into the sphere. You also see a bright white light is shooting up from the ground, and you can see this through the window. It looks like Sal, and it seems like he's grown these white streams of light from his back in the shape of wings, and he's flying in the air. And then you see him dive down towards the flames that were stretching towards the hub. At the tip of these flames, you see Lilith, Arrow's sister. It seems like she has broken free from Silvery Moon, kind of on a destructive path towards the Harper hub. On the side of the steps, the recess that's on the first floor, the sphere you placed in there, Susanna had seen almost like a ghostly image of a bug person. It looks like they're talking and clicking and hissing. A ghostly image of like their head. And it looks like they're talking, and it's above the sphere that you had put there.
Just to make sure, Arrow's sister is on the ground, right?
Yes.
We weren't above the ground.
Yes.
So Arrow's sister probably isn't something that we will have to worry about right now.
I mean, Sal's going to take care of it.
True. Hal might not be a match for just a random paladin, but who knows?
Every second, the ground is kind of getting further and further away.
Well, this was unexpected. I'm gonna go check out whatever kind of ghosty thing is happening down there, and I'll start heading towards the ghostly image of the bug man.
Yeah, so you know that this looks like a Kreen head, and they are talking. I don't know if you know Kreen, though.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to recognize it.
The ship basically like rotated around like a rotisserie chicken, and then the door closed, and then it started going higher and higher.
I'm still attuned to the anchor, right?
Yep.
Can I activate that real quick?
You're putting magic into it? Because you have to like cast...
Oh, yeah, right. I have to be attuned to it and put magic into it?
Like you have to cast something in order to...
Well, I don't got no magic.
Any sort of like magic thing should work. Basically, you're casting a spell that doesn't really do anything other than activate the anchor. So you're doing that?
Well, I don't have any spells.
Well, it's like
or anything that would resemble a spell.
It's basically I want to activate this thing, but it's a magical object, so it's fine.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I made it so that way you could do it even if you were, you just had to be attuned to it. But it counts as you like tapping into some sort of magical force. What would you say this like looks like?
Wait, what is it? It's the kappa.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, just very quickly trying to pull it out and panicking. It's just kind of like I almost like praying into it, I guess. Please make us go back down to the ground.
Rate of flying?
Well, unexpected, yeah.
As you are like focusing on this kappa, you see it glow for a second, and then it seems like the light is kind of like sucked out of it, and it shoots up towards the throne, and then the ship speeds up a little bit.
I'm gonna panic and go find Wyatt. If I can I even move, or I was like stuck to the window?
You were stuck to the window. This is how you saw all this stuff. It righted itself. So you would be at the midpoint between the two floors on the stairwell, the mid landing of the stairwell, I guess.
I'll just go try to join up with Wyatt. Not to like say anything in particular. I just want to group up.
I look out the window.
Are you looking for anything in particular?
No, I just want to look out the window because I feel like the place that I'm inside of is moving.
The ground is getting like very far away.
I can see that I'm inside the sky, though, right?
Yes.
I panic and run to Wyatt.
Wyatt, help us.
What's Abby doing?
Assume I would try to find either Wyatt or Erilyn, whoever would be closer if I could see either of them.
Erilyn was in the sauna.
Then I'd be like,
Yeah, I feel the same. Any chance anybody understands what this guy's saying? I'll point to the green head.
Assuming this stays like this for a while, I could take a long rest now and prepare comprehend languages.
I believe it's Kreen, as this is a Kreen.
What's a Kreen?
Big bug dudes. They're cool. Did I know any Kreens?
You knew of Taka's father, Clack Taka.
Okay, and I know that a Kreen group had assisted us in the fight against Tiamat and the cult, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'll convey that information. Well, I mean, I can't imagine we have any way of stopping this. I don't even know how to drive this thing right now. Is there anything that looks like controls if I do a perception check?
There was the pedestal with the Kreen hand on it. There's also a Kreen hand with the black rectangle near the door.
All right, well, Abby, you don't do any strenuous activity and try and prepare something that might be able to figure out what this dude's saying. Is he like repeating the same phrase over and over again?
Here and there it seems to repeat, and then there's little different things thrown in.
Why don't we try to find a way to drive this thing?
I mean, if you can figure out how to do it, I would be impressed.
I made it speed up
How?
by accident. I put some magic into my kappa. It like shot up into the throne, and now we're moving faster. I don't know how that helps, but I did it.
Can I look around the room and see if there's anything that looks like reins or something that I would assume would be used for driving?
Yeah, you don't see anything like that.
How about you try figuring out one of these green handprint things? Maybe that has something to do with it.
Walk up to it and try to fit my hand into the little handprint?
When you put your hand on there, nothing happens.
Maybe we have to put magic into it? Do you know any magic?
I mean, I can do ritual magic.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like there isn't any discrimination when it comes to these things. You just have to put some sort of magic in it.
Well, the only things I know how to do are detect magic and smite.
Well, smite it.
Probably not going to help.
You are now entering what seems to be like lots of clouds.
I'm gonna go try and sit in the throne. See what happens there.
Try telling it to do stuff when you sit in the throne.
All right. Do I feel any different?
You feel mighty.
All right, ship. Now you listen to me. I want you to slow down right this second.
Nothing happens.
Think really hard.
Nothing happens.
I don't know if you followed me, Arrow, but I'll say, all right, well, that didn't work.
I followed you, yeah. Now I'll sit down in it and I'll try. I'll say, please, please, please stop moving.
Nothing happens.
Weren't we going to fuse these together, like the two halves of the throne? Yeah, that's true. We haven't slept yet, have we? We tried to sleep, we didn't actually finish sleep. That might be the problem.
That the throne isn't welded together. All right. Well, I mean, I'm out of ideas. I have no idea what or how to stop this or where we're going. Is there any, like if I look outside, can I do some sort of navigating to figure out where this ship is going?
Yeah, it just seems like it's going up. As you're kind of looking outside, you breach above the clouds.
I will go back to the room that we were all congregating in, and I'll say, anybody know anything about space navigation and can tell me where we're going? Are we going to the moon?
I didn't realize the moon was a place you could go.
I mean, we went to an asteroid, right?
Yeah, I did. That blew my mind too, so.
Can I look out the window and tell if we're getting closer specifically to the moon?
You do seem to be headed in that direction.
Y'all, I think we're heading to the moon!
Doesn't seem right.
I mean...
I choose to believe this is not real and I'm dreaming right now.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we have figured out how to sail ships before. This is probably no different, right? We did it once, we can probably do it again, so I don't think we're in trouble or anything, but...
Nothing in here looks like a boat, though.
Valid. I also have no idea what type of fuel we're using, because I don't think it's wind. Is the hologram still there and talking?
Yeah.
Well, it seems like our best bet is to probably have Abby figure out what this dude's saying, right? So maybe we should just sit back and enjoy the ride.
So it seems like you are getting further and further away from the ground. And in fact, you can kind of see kind of the edge of what you were able to see before. And it kind of has like a curvature to it. It also seems like the clouds are kind of like engulfing the lands below.
I guess Wyatt wouldn't be too worried, so he probably go over to a window and just kind of enjoy the view, I guess.
As you're looking out the window, an hour has passed by. The world you know as Toril looks like a sphere below you. Looks like you're headed in the opposite direction of the sun. Above you, it seems like you are whizzing by the Tears of Selûne. One of the Tears of Selûne, you actually see, it looks like there's a little red dot orbiting one of these asteroids. The longer you look at this, you see that it's like a little red dot kind of has like little tiny wings on it. You get closer and you see a dragon flying around an asteroid.
I wonder how Infernexus is doing. I hope he's happy at his new home on the other side of a portal somewhere. We never did find out where that actually was.
Another hour goes by and you start to pass the moon. Wyatt, you think for a split second you saw some buildings or something on the moon, and then you're like, wait, what? And then it just seems like a barren, desolate surface of the moon.
Maybe I'm crazy and maybe I'm hallucinating things. Maybe the stress is just getting to me, but the stress isn't getting to me. I thought I saw for a second maybe some buildings on the moon, and I know that's crazy.
Specifically on the side that isn't facing Toril. But then even the moon becomes smaller. Everything kind of around is like very black. But it seems like you're heading in the direction of the stars. And another hour goes by.
We're not heading towards the moon, y'all.
I believe that was 4 hours.
I would have sat down and been listening to stuff, but after getting like beat up all day and using most of my spell slot, I would just I think be tuckered out and like actually trance and like snap out of it with a jolt, realizing that for all intents and purposes fell asleep and was not super paying attention to everything. Head back over to the rest of the group and cast Comprehend Languages. I sort of close my eyes, and you can like see them not flickering, but the like rapid eye movement when you're dreaming, where you can like see their eyes going crazy behind it. And it's almost like I'm trancing because I'm just taking everything in, trying to like use the divination in me to like just sense where this is coming from, like where it might have originated, and try to like channel it through me.
You see a light kind of emanating from Abby's like eyes and ears. It kind of wafts around her head and shoots towards the throne. And then the ship speeds up.
So does she comprehend the language?
No.
Huh.
Cool.
Now I'm officially out of ideas.
So it seems like as you're getting closer to the stars, almost look like large balls of fire on like a black wall. The light that's kind of emanating from them seems like it's illuminating some sort of black surface around them, around the stars specifically. It seems like the stars are balls of fire on like a black wall, as if they are placed in a black wall.
Like a recessed light.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So another hour goes by and the stars are getting larger, it seems. As you get closer, you see what looks like a small crack between these stars, and out of it is spilling this brightly orange copper-colored mist with spurts of blue and purple swirling around it. It looks like it's kind of like leaking out of this black wall. It's quickly dissipating as it gets further away from this black wall. The ship starts to like rotate towards this copper-colored mist, and that black wall, it doesn't look like it's like a wall that stops. It looks like in every direction it kind of just extends out, as if you can't see beyond this black wall.
This is weird. Have I ever read of anybody doing this before? Like going to space? Ever?
No. The color of the mist reminds you of that time that Din was sucked into the portal, though. Another hour goes by and you are pretty close to this mist, actually. You could guess maybe like a mile away from you. Looking at this black wall, it seems like the stars are actually like these flat discs on the surface of this black wall.
Okay.
It seems like you're viewing them through what looks like a portal, as if the stars were there, but a flat image on this black wall. You can tell that it's 3D beyond that flat surface. So it looks as if you're looking through a portal. And as you get closer to this mist, a whole bunch of humanoids of different races walking in a line side by side, not single file, but side by side, walking in a north to south direction. They all look like they're chanting spells, and you can also see on their hands they have some sort of marking.
Where are they standing?
They're standing on this black wall, and they're essentially walking down it.
That's weird.
Abby and Shizeno, you know this mark to be the symbol of Torm. He's a lawful good war domain god. You know that there is thought amongst followers of Torm, or the Tormtar, as they like to be called, I guess, that they believe in this sort of purgatory where if somebody is especially evil, every 5 years, one of these evil people will just kind of drop dead, and that they go to some sort of purgatory that Torm watches over. If you were a believer of Torm, you might think that this is what that is, because they're walking in a line down this wall. A couple of these people casting spells with the Torm symbol on their hand fall into these portals and like burn up, but the people keep walking. Another hour goes by. You enter this crack where this mist is spilling out of, and then all around you can kind of tell that that's kind of exactly what this is. It seems to be like some sort of crack in this black wall, and you're passing through this mist through this black wall for another hour. And then you get to the other side, essentially all around you. So behind you is this black wall again, but it's covered in this copper mist with blue and purple swirls in it. All you can see in front of you is this mist. It goes on for what seems like forever. And that's about 8 hours of you doing almost nothing. So y'all get the effects of a long rest, and you level up. Arrow, I have an extra thing for your sword. It seems like you are careening through this copper mist.
We only see the mist out the windows.
Yeah, it seems like you're completely engulfed in it.
Does the temperature change at all in the boat, or?
It seems like it stays the same. It seems like it's pretty dark though, but you have dark vision, so you all have dark vision. You're just getting like ambient sort of light from the copper mist. But other than that, it's basically pitch black in here. Maybe Kadama has trouble. That's about it.
My guess would be based on the size of all of this space we've traveled through, that for us to just happen to slip through a crack in like the fabric of space or whatever is so incredibly unlikely that this thing is probably predetermined to be going somewhere. So it seems like whenever we use magic, we just start going faster. So what if I just pump this thing full of magic and we get there as fast as we can?
I'm all for it. Maybe you'll shoot us all the way around. We'll end up right back where we started. All right, pump this bad boy full of all the magic you can.
Oh, so yeah, I'll start casting Mage Hand, but as like fists. I'll be like pretending to punch at the throne, get a workout in, and get winded very quickly. Strength is not my strong suit, but then I'll just be doing like finger guns at it.
Yeah, it seems like every single time that you cast this at it, it like jolts faster and faster.
As long as I'm not getting like pinned to a wall because we're going so fast, then I'll just keep pumping it with a little bit more.
Yeah, so it seems like you're kind of constantly accelerating. Yeah, so I don't know how long you're doing this, but eventually, like about an hour goes by of Abby doing this, and it seems like every time she does it, it gets faster. You enter this wide open area where there is like a pocket of none of this like copper mist, but out the side of the ship you see this huge, what looks like there's a whole bunch of things on fire here, and you see like a donut shaped building, but it looks like parts of it are broken and exploded. There's like so much debris, and it looks like there's like buildings are inside of this thing and they're just like torn apart. The edges are scorched, things are on fire, lots and lots of debris in this area. But because you're going so fast, that kind of only lasts for about a minute and you're back in this copper mist. Yeah, so about 2 hours go by. Up ahead you kind of see, it looks like the mist is thinning, and that you actually see what looks like a black sphere that you're headed towards, and it looks like there is mist kind of like whipping all around this thing. Another hour goes by. The ship kind of dives into what looks like a crack in this black wall. And when you pass through, it looks like you've entered like the other side of this black wall, and there's no copper mist here. But at the center, the way that your ship is facing, you see like a very dim red sun. It looks like it's being sucked into like a point near it.
Oh no. I think things are going to be okay, Arrow. We have each other.
I was going to say, if you want to do some like really horrible things right now in case you die, to like, guarantee you get into hell so you can go kill the ruler of the nine hells or whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah, commit some atrocities right now, right here.
I mean, if I don't get into hell, can't I just ask to be sent there?
I don't know how it works. I haven't died yet.
Yeah, me either.
So it seems like you are careening in this direction. It looks like you're fast approaching. It looks like another sphere. It looks like it's a lot smaller than Toril. At two ends of it, it looks like it's covered in white. The way that you are facing it, just like a brown smudge, like a brown colored sphere that has icy poles. You see the ground kind of get closer. It looks like there's just sand everywhere. And lots of like rocks. And then it looks like the ground is approaching almost too fast.
Can we slow this thing down, or?
Y'all manage to see this coming and sort of like brace for impact. The ship kind of slams into the ground, and it kind of, you hear this like awful noise. It just kind of like scrapes and slides along the sand. Looks like it hits a giant rock, kind of like ridge thing that's like sticking out of the ground as it comes to a halt. The crane head is like, just like you can tell it's like panicked about something.
That's unnerving.
So now that we're here, can I try to cast comprehend languages again?
Sure. The same thing happens again.
Can I go up to the Korean head and like try to get its attention?
Yeah, it's like looking at you, saying things.
Common.
Yeah, it's still
celestial.
It's doing like a different stuff. Is anybody near the throne? Well, I guess it wouldn't matter. The top of the throne, like the seat part, would have flown forward. So you probably would have seen it. The part that is like where it's severed, when Abby cast the spell, looks like it heated up and then cooled down again.
Okay.
And it went towards, I guess, both pieces of the throne, the magic that went around her head.
So we've landed, and we've landed on a sandy planet. Anyone know where we are?
I mean, no one's gonna know.
So did it ignore me when I started telling it to be common or celestial?
It didn't ignore you. It's changed like what it was saying, but it didn't speak in common or celestial.
Hey guys, I think this like ghost or whatever might be like intelligent because it does seem to be responding to me.
You also noticed that the blue light that was coming from the sphere on the second floor scaffolding, it went back to being dim again.
Go outside.
Well, I guess we should make sure that nothing in the ship has changed at all. But if nothing in the ship has changed, then yeah, I guess that's what we do. I mean, the ship brought us here for some reason. Can I do a search around the whole ship to make sure that nothing else has changed?
You see all of like Erlen's papers and stuff is like kind of flung all over the throne room, and all the belongings of like the other teams and stuff in the other rooms.
Can I like gather up Aaron's papers and look at them?
Yeah. Are you looking for anything in particular?
Looking for anything related to this ship.
A lot of it is just sort of like maps and logistics. It looks like a lot of financial reports on like people's salaries and stuff like that. You could tell that Team 1 was being paid like 3 times what you were being paid.
Mental note to talk to anyone about that later.
And that Team 3 was getting paid half of what you were.
But there's nothing about like maybe how the ship might work or anything like that.
There's some like sketches and stuff, but it seems like they were completely wrong. There's one thing that had like the side fins of this like spinning kind of like flippers that like kind of like flapping. But yeah, you didn't see those move at all. There's like another drawing of like something about a balloon or the shield pushing it and it bouncing.
Do you guys know that Team 1 gets paid more than us?
I mean, I assume they're like
yeah.
elite.
Don't we do everything though?
No.
I mean,
I feel like we've done like all the important stuff.
out of all the artifacts, how many have we collected?
Team 1 has gotten 5, but there are the 4 boxes and the sphere thing that's in the second floor scaffolding.
So we're pretty even.
Yeah, and that's Team 1.
Yeah. So like Team 1 has also like a whole bunch of like other missions that they've been on as well. Like a lot of them are like reconnaissance or stuff like that.
Like the only reason we get artifacts is because they got us information. And we're just like, hey, this seems easy enough that you guys can do it.
Right.
Bigger, better things to do.
And Team 3 is sort of like they do like odd jobs and stuff to like help fund the project. You also find like a whole bunch of different little sacks of money in Erlen's stuff.
Well, I'm not going to touch that. I'm not going to steal my boss's money.
Yeah, me neither.
Did you find anything useful in those papers of Erlen?
Not really. Just some drawings of the ship doing stuff that it doesn't do. Looks like she was theorizing about how maybe it would work, but it doesn't look like she was right about any of it.
Guess we try and go outside, right?
Where else is there to go? We could just sit in here until we die.
I mean, yeah, that's valid.
Should we try to fix the throne today?
Yeah, why not? It'll postpone whatever we're facing out there.
What about you guys do that and I'll just take a peek around the perimeter really quick?
Like outside?
Yeah, just walk around it. Like
I don't think it's smart for you to go out there alone.
Doesn't look like there's anything out there.
Yeah, but if there is something out there, a big ship landing probably alerted them. I imagine if there is someone or something out there on the lookout right now.
Well, I guess I could just sit here and twiddle my thumbs.
You can help us fix the throne.
Yeah, we're gonna need the muscle.
True. I'm gonna start heading towards the throne.
Why you see like these 2 hooded figures on top of this mound that has been created because of the ship crashing. Everybody else, you can tell that like one of these hooded figures is like a lot shorter than the other, almost like child-sized. Arrow. You can tell that based on what Wyatt has told you and this ghost thing basically incessantly screaming that these are Kreen.
Hey guys. See those guys over there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those guys are like this guy. And I point to the big ghosty head. They're like the same kind of person.
Well, maybe they can help us understand what he's saying.
They start to walk closer.
All right. Well, maybe we should go meet them outside together.
I mean, there's a lot of variables. I don't know. You said you had experience with these like mantis people?
I mean, I fought alongside them many years ago. They were good people. The ones that I knew, so...
Do you know anything of, like, culturally? I don't know if a bunch of strangers just running out of a place and approaching them would be, like, considered hostile. If we should just wait for them to come to us if they're already coming. I don't want to get into a fight before we know what's going on because we overstepped our boundaries.
Valid. They definitely held their own during the war, but they're not particularly evil or distrusting. I would say they're probably neutral. We show them that we mean them no harm. I'm sure we'll be fine.
Okay.
Then I'll start heading towards the door. I'll say, well, I'm not going to force anyone, but if you want to join me, I'm going to go try and meet them.
I really want to go outside. I'm super curious. So
I would follow.
All right, you're at the door.
Is Abby coming?
Shizano, are you going to be okay in the desert?
Yeah, I'm fine. I don't need water anymore.
Oh, I didn't know if you would like dry up.
No, it's okay.
what happened that you don't need water anymore?
Yeah, I learned from the Phoenix clan. I don't need food or water anymore.
Must be nice.
I'll start opening the door, I guess.
How are you doing that?
Hitting the button with the hand with the rectangle, square, or whatever shape it was, next to the door.
Yes.
Nothing happens.
Oh, wrong hands.
Punch it.
Your hand hurts.
Well, we don't want to break it.
I mean, it might be broken closed from the impact.
A moments after Arrow punches it, you hear a and it falls down onto the sand.
I did it.
About 60 feet away are the two hooded figures, and then you feel the ground sort of rumble. You see both of them jump up on top of the ship. It seems like they have a pretty high jumping ability. The ground kind of mounds up in front of where they are. So the front of your ship is sort of slammed into this rigid sort of rock thing. Part of underneath of the ship is on this as well. But the side, the port side, the side that the opening is on, is like all sort of loose sand. You see come up from the ground is a giant purple worm with its
Christ.
many gnashing teeth as it just nearly misses both of these Kreen. The ghost Kreen starts like going off again.
Huh.
It kind of reminds you of that time that you were sailing with everybody and you saw the those killer whales. They were kind of like jumping up and then slamming back down. That's essentially what this thing does. Is it kind of leaps out of the ground and then dives back under.
Let's not anger those guys, right?
Ooh,
Probably already
it
did.
looks gross.
Shizeno, you know that they have like a tremor sense where they can essentially sense like things on the surface, and this ship slamming into the ground probably alerted it, and then it sensing those two Kreen on the ground.
All right, I'll explain it to Wyatt.
It still doesn't seem like it is really attacking us or looking to attack us, right?
It looks like it is kind of circling the rock that you're on. But Shizeno, you know that it can chew through rock. It just takes like extra long.
I'll explain that as well then.
I guess we'd continue going outside, or if the people are approaching us.
I just see Abby and Shizeno both go like, when you said go outside.
Shizano said that I could sense their footsteps outside. You're like, yeah, let's just go outside.
Oh,
I could send Kadama.
Could climb up the side of the ship and not touch the actual ground.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, or we could just get the bug people in.
yeah. Why don't we invite them in then?
You see them like peering down through the window from on top of the ship.
Gesture to them to come down here.
They like look like they're gonna come, and then they're like, I don't know. They seem hesitant.
I'm like, it's cool. Come here. It's all good. We're cool. I promise.
I'll take my crossbows and I'll put them. I'll show them the crossbows and I'll put them on the ground away from me, and I'll in a corner, and I'll show them that I don't have them anymore.
They seem convinced. You see them disappear for a second, and then you hear two metal thuds. It seems like they landed on the door that is like onto the ground. They walk into the ship, and then they immediately hear the like Kreen ghost thing and start. Seems like they're conversing with it.
It's like responding.
Mm-hmm. Talking back and forth. It seems.
Oh, interesting. Can I sense like emotion?
It seems like questioning, maybe, or something like that. The bigger one says in what seems like broken common, says he broken, and points at the like ghost head.
How can we fix him?
It seems like he understood what you were saying, responded, and said something to the Kreen that was talking to you.
Uh-huh.
She says, daughter of my son, Zoka. And then she like points outside of the ship. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you can tell this is like an old female Kreen. And this is a child Kreen. It has like a kind of like a stubby tail and still kind of like walks with like a hunch.
I'll point to myself and I'll say Wyatt, and then I'll point to Abby and I'll say Abby. And then I'll point to Arrow, and I'll say Arrow, and then I'll point to Shizeno, and I'll say Shizeno.
You hear the Kreen head when you point to Arrow, it like yells out something.
Excuse me?
She'll say, and point at Arrow, she'll say, loud.
Yeah, pretty accurate.
Does it not like me?
I'm going to ask her and I guess also the child if it's okay if I cast a spell.
The Kreen head talks to her, and then she says, what spell?
Telepathic bond, so we can talk.
The Kreen head talks. She says, your big chair is hungry.
So we probably, I say to the party mostly, but just out loud, we probably need to fix the chair from absorbing all of my magic before I can do anything to help us. Seems like it's probably wants to be repaired before we can interact with anything else here.
Okay, well then let's fix the throne, right? Do you want to join us to the cream?
The old lady and the child?
To watch! Maybe it'll be like a fun fat pastime.
She says, daughter of my son Zoka, skill. And then she makes like a motion like screwing something into something else.
You guys think I'm loud?
Maybe sometimes.
We need to go find this old lady's granddaughter
Fix the throne?
to fix this.
You don't think we can do it by ourselves?
She like walks outside and like waves to you, but like waves to you like facing like, hey, come over here.
We needed like all of the teams to pick this up.
Right.
So
Right.
if I could cast like enlarge, reduce, and make it smaller, or arcane hand, so I had a giant fucking magic hand to pick it up and help, like maybe we could do it. But any magic I cast just gets the chair all melty. So
Okay, so it seems like she knows someone who can fix it, and that's her son.
no, her granddaughter.
Okay. If she's gesturing for us to follow her, I'll follow her. Is she going outside?
Yeah, but she's waiting like outside. She's drawing something in the sand.
Yeah, but what about the worm? I'll point to the worm.
The sand part where she's drawing is like right next to the ship, where it's like you're on top of like solid rock.
Look over to see what she's drawing.
It looks like she drew a book and then an arrow pointing towards tiers of rectangles, almost like a pyramid. And it looks like there's a sphere or circle drawn above it. She has a separate drawing with like a little squiggly line from that, and it shows a little X in the shape of your ship. What you would guess is like a worm. Basically, the drawing looks like it's saying to move from like solid rock to solid rock. To avoid the purple worm. The way that your ship is facing, further up that way, there's some sort of building with books. That's where she's saying you should go.
Do you know how to drive this ship?
She looks like she doesn't understand what you're saying, so she goes back into the ship and then points at the Kreen head.
I'll say, I don't speak that language. I don't speak Kreen.
And she points to herself.
Can you ask it or them how to drive the ship or how to get there where we're trying to go?
She just told us.
Yeah, well, but I don't know how to like drive the ship.
No, we have to jump from rock to rock.
Yeah, but how do we start the ship?
We don't. We leave it here.
Oh, so you think we've
Broken. We have to
physically
get somebody. We have to get somebody to come fix it.
okay, fix the whole ship, not just the throne.
A throne to start, I would assume. But we did crash and the door fell off, so it's probably a lot more than.
No, I opened it.
No.
I'll turn to the Kreen. What is your name?
The Kreen head says something to her, and then she says, Grani Ka.
Huh. Would my character recognize that last name?
Yeah.
I recognize the name Ka. I know of a war hero named Ta'aka.
She like tilts her head, and then she goes outside again. She draws what looks like a branching tree, but it's like upside down. And then she draws a little circle on one end, an X all the way on the left side of the other.
They're very distantly related.
Maybe. She like points at both, and she says maybe. Both of the branches of this tree.
Maybe what?
Might be related.
Oh, I see. We'll go visit your son's daughter then. Will you come with us?
She looks at the Kreen head, waiting for like a response, and then he says something to her. She shakes her head no, draws a picture of like a house, and then she kind of points off to the south,
Which is not in the direction of the city, I'm guessing.
right. She also crosses out what looks like the pyramid shaped building, and then draws like a mad face.
I'll point to the mad face and I'll say why.
She waits for the Kreen head to say something. It says like a monotone, like 2-syllable phrase, and then she says, God King.
Say, well, we've dealt with one of those before. I mean, not exactly, but it's not safe for you.
She waits for the Kreen head to respond, and then she says, not allowed.
I'm going to point at the green head and say, who is that?
They talk back and forth, and then she says, doll.
Are you saying that he's not real?
They speak back and forth, and she shakes her head yes.
So,
Well, then why can it understand us, but we can't understand it?
It's easier to talk through someone who speaks your native language. And also, you could probably guess that she doesn't understand you like very well, and there's probably certain things that are lost in translation, and she seems like she only knows a little bit of Common, so it's easier for her to get dense information from the Kreen and then translate it into Common. It seems like the Kreen head can't speak Common for whatever reason. Oh, well, she said that he's broken.
I guess I'll ask, who was the God King in the pyramid?
She looks like she doesn't know how to answer that.
Are you safe?
She like shrugs.
Can you get home safely?
To respond, yes.
Did Kreen make this ship originally?
She points to the like book that she drew on the ground, and she shrugs. Then she also repeats the phrase, the daughter of my son, and then says the name, Zoka.
Your son is in the city. Zoka is in the city.
She shakes her head no.
Is Zoka alive?
She shakes her head no.
What's Zoka's daughter's name?
She says, Al Roxan Ka.
They have 4 arms.
Yep.
They have like 2 main arms and 2 little ones.
Just looking at a picture of them.
The 2 little ones are kind of keeping the cloak together, and they're kind of gesticulating with the other 2 arms. Gesticulating.
All right. Well, I think we know what we need to do, right, y'all? Anybody else have any questions?
Plenty, but it'll probably be easier once we get a bunch of this figured out, because now I also just have more questions.
I mean, we can try and get as much information as possible.
I asked if they built this ship, and I got I don't know, maybe, but this book knows. So the book might be like a manual on how to build this ship, and they just figured it out, but they weren't the first to do it. Then it's like, well, who was?
Right. Okay. Makes sense to head into the city, right? That's where we'll find the rest of our answers.
Hopefully this will be like the anti-magic thing in WoW, where if I get far enough away from here, I'll be able to use my magic again.
Yeah, let's hope. I'll turn to Granny and I'll say, thank you for your help. We'll be heading into the city now, I guess.
She points off. You see in the distance, it looks like there's like a little dark brown sort of rectangle off in the distance, and she points over there.
Thank you. Be safe.
She points all around and shrugs.
I'll say, fair enough, fair enough. I'll go over to the corner where I put my crossbows, and I'll pick them up, and I'll holster them again. All right, y'all, get packing. It seems like there are enough rocks where we can, like, jump.
Yeah, with good enough dexterity.
Yeah,
Oh,
they can
God.
jump easy across these rocks.
I'm going to say, are they close enough
we're-
to get me would be able to jump across them? Because they can jump pretty freaking high.
Yeah, but we're like frail endoskeletal people. We have our muscles on the outside, like idiots.
It's true.
The whole protection on the inside.
Yeah, they seem like rocks are spaced maybe like 20 to 30 feet away from each other.
Okay. Would I feel very confident hopping them?
Whatever your movement is halved, plus what you roll, plus your strength. I don't know, that's what I'm going to use.
20 to 30 feet. I assume for all of us, 15 base plus what we roll plus strength. More likely than not, unless it's 30.
I mean, we don't have any other choice, right?
You have like rope and stuff. And also remember that the purple worms can't turn very quickly.
Would I assume that if one of us were to fall and a purple worm were to be far away, they wouldn't be able to get to us in time? Like, they can't attack us if we're on a rock, right?
They can. It would cut their speed in half, essentially. Because they would have to burrow through the rock, which is makes them a lot slower. Shizeno, you know that they can move 50 feet through like sand and stuff. Oh, sorry. They move 50 feet when they're like at the surface, 30 feet when they're below surface, and 15 feet through solid rock.
What if we chuck stuff into sand and then when they're going for that stuff, make a run for it?
So yeah, it's a good idea. What do we want to chuck in there?
Her sword.
Oh, true.
You just keep throwing your sword.
That's true. I could do that.
That is true. All right, let's try that. Seems like we have a plan.
Everybody should probably grab a couple of things to toss, though, just to be safe.
Yeah, there's some rocks and stuff where you can grab stuff from the inside of the ship.
Yeah, I'll grab a rock.
I'll grab some rock chunks.
Same.
Pull a rock.
Yeah, it seems like this first rock that your ship has crashed into kind of leans over another.
Okay, so it's an easy jump.
It seems pretty easy, yeah. It's only like 10 feet away, so yeah, it probably doesn't even warrant a roll. So you kind of drop down about 10 feet, land on this rock. Here's what we'll do. We'll split this up into 3 rolls, just so we don't have to roll for every rock. Because it's about a mile, so I'm not going to do like 50. I'll say the middle part looks a little bit harder than the other 2 sections. Second section out of 4, you'll have to clear 20 feet. So Shizeno makes it.
Can I use my inspiration?
You can. You see Arrow almost clears the entire rock. Abby lands just on the edge there. Wyatt falls about 5 feet short. You hear the ground start to rumble.
Y'all, this ain't good.
And
Help me.
Wyatt's down about 10 feet. onto the ground.
Start running. I start running towards the fucking rock.
Okay.
Start chucking rocks to places where Wyatt isn't.
So before you do that, roll for initiative, just so we have an order here. So Shizena, what are you doing?
Are these rocks up in the air at all? Like you said, she's down 10 feet.
Yeah, it's at 10 feet, almost like ramps, kind of. They kind of like go in the direction of where you're headed, down this sort of like valley type thing. So where you're jumping right now, or where you have just jumped, except for Wyatt, is down about 10 feet. The other end of it looks like it's about 30 to 40 feet in the air.
So it'd be beneficial for me to throw a rope.
Yeah, that would help.
Then I will do that as quickly as I can. I'm just pull a rope out of my pack and toss it to Wyatt.
Wyatt kind of like you get a particularly soft batch of sand, and you're like up to your like calves in the sand. Okay, so it's Abby's turn.
Could I do like an Arcana check to try to feel if I'm out of the range of whatever sinkhole that ship had on my magic?
Yeah, you definitely feel like a sort of like a magical sort of tingling, as if like kind of like if your foot goes numb and then you get feeling back in it like that, but maybe 10% of how bad that feels.
So yeah, since I have 2 5th level spell slots now, I'll burn the first one on an arcane hand. It has a range of 120 feet, so I'll just summon it next to Wyatt. It's a large-sized shimmering hand of translucent force.
Yeah, so when that appears, it looks like it's like a medium size for some reason.
I assume I should size down everything that says like medium or smaller. Should it be smaller?
Yeah, one size smaller.
It would just be an advantage for most of these things if it's medium or smaller. So then, yeah, I would do grasping hand. It attempts to grapple a large or smaller creature within 5 feet of it. Wyatt, I would have to use a strength score to make the grapple against him.
Are you purposely failing, Wyatt?
As I try to scoop you.
Yes, I want that to happen.
Okay, so then you fail on purpose, which means that I successfully grapple you.
Okay, perfect. Glad. Okay, yes.
I can use my bonus action to have it crush you. I'm not going to do that.
Well, thank you.
Oh, yes. I'm going to use the bonus action to move the hand up to 60 feet.
Okay.
I'm just going to pick you up and put you on the rock with it.
So you're up there now. And this purple worm comes out of the ground, kind of like right where Wyatt was, and then dives back into the sand. It looks like it left like a 10-foot diameter tunnel in its wake, but then it kind of like quickly fills back in with sand.
Okay.
Wonderful.
I'll want to keep going as quickly as possible.
Okay. So the next one looks like it's about 30 feet.
Are you kidding me? Okay, I guess I'll roll if that's what you're waiting for, I guess.
I mean, we're all going to have to roll.
Yeah, I know. Feels bad.
You can also distract the worm first.
Yeah, we could make it go somewhere else first so that it can't turn around right quick and get back to us.
Right, then let's do that.
Somebody who doesn't have a -1 to strength want to yeet a rock? Because my plan was always to use magic first and then use a rock if we just absolutely keep failing.
I'll say, I'll throw a rock and I'll...
You should throw them in relatively the same direction because...
Oh, are we both throwing rocks?
I mean, Arrow said she was going to.
Okay, I'll let Arrow, because I know that she's stronger than me.
I will chuck a rock in the direction that is not the direction we're going.
Yeah, so this thing, you chuck this thing pretty far. It goes almost like 300 feet. And sure enough, once it lands, it looks like the purple worm kind of is heading in that direction. You can kind of see the sand mounding.
Yeah, ready to jump?
So, yeah.
One of you is going to have to prepare a rope, because I'd say there's probably a 1 in 20 chance that I can succeed this.
I'll jump over there first and then dangle a rope down.
Yeah, you make it over there.
And then I'll drop a rope down just in case something falls.
Okay.
So yeah, this is 10 plus whatever we roll plus strength. I have a -1 to strength, so I assume I would have to crit to negate the -1. So that's only a 16 -1, 15 for a 25 total.
Abby almost makes it there. You walk the rest of the way and are grabbed onto the rope.
I also already rolled.
You just fall in front of in front of Abby. And you're like, I just can't reach. Yeah, so are you both like grabbing the rope?
She can go first. She's squishier.
Wyatt?
None of us are going to survive a purple worm, so...
Yeah. So did I make it?
Yeah.
Liddy.
Abby's at the bottom. Seems like the worm has caught up with the rock that Arrow threw. So someone pulling Abby up.
I'll
Or is Abby climbing up?
I would prefer not to climb, because I'm assuming that's also strength.
Yeah.
So I'll just like wrap my arms and legs around it. I swear to God, if this is your nat 1.
Nope.
Yeah, you like with like one hand. And then I'm guessing doing the same for Shizeno?
Yes.
Yeah, it seems like the purple worm is like making an arc in the ground.
You're not going to believe this, but there's a nat 20 again.
You like fling up Shizeno like with the same sort of movement as if they were Shizeno was as light as Abby.
I have some very heavy armor.
Yeah, you're also like a foot and a half taller than me or whatever.
So you're all up here. So the next leg of it is looks like it's gonna be 20 feet.
Right, we should probably throw the rocks first again, huh?
Yeah, throw it the like 180 direction that we went last time, so it goes by us. So it would have to completely turn around to get to us. I'll give Arrow my rocks.
Yeah, I'll chuck it in that direction.
Yeah, so this thing goes even further than last time. Not too much further, but a little bit further.
2 feet short again.
Arrow just like gliding through the air. So you all make it there except for Shizeno. Just kind of that heavy armor, just kind of like.
It's a good thing Arrow has the rope.
Yeah. So athletics check to pull up Shizeno.
And that's a nat 1.
Yeah, you can see the purple worm kind of like approaching. Looks like this mound is like coming right up towards Shizeno.
Wyatt, come grab this. And we can only give one help action, but I'll give the help action to try to hold the rope like we're doing a tug of war.
This thing is right at Shizeno's toes. It seems like you're like struggling to like hold the rope. Shizeno seems extra heavy.
I'm in trouble.
So right before this this purple worm's mouth is like cresting the ground, you like feel it come up. And you see a shadow kind of go over Shizeno. A Kreen, they look like they have like some sort of mask over their mouth, and they have like looks like a long pole on their back and a little dagger they have like a little belt. They like touch you and cast a spell. You're under the effects of the jump spell, Shizeno. So your jump is tripled. So if you want to, you can jump.
I sure do.
You feel like you could like jump also. You feel like extra light.
Yeah, I will do that immediately.
You jump up there. This person is also like grabbing on the back of your thing as they're like jumping at the same time. Yeah, and so this like wall of like purple worm comes up behind you as it's like going through the air. They say, well, that was close. She extends all 4 of her arms and says, I'm Alex Shen. Nice to meet you.